Welcome back, everyone, to episode 33 of the Jader and Kyle show. It's been a little bit for us, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, Sue. How you doing, Jader?
Pretty good, man. Happy New Year.
Yeah,
It's been a while. It really has been. We're both in the phone business, so it is like
busy.
the busiest time of year for us. Christmas, everybody trying to get the new iPhones and all that. So that's pretty much the main reason why we couldn't get on. Besides I don't think we had any personal shit going on. The
No,
COVID shit wasn't. So
no, it's been fun. It's been busy again. It's been time of the holidays. Our last show was last Christmas. So it's been about 2 weeks ever since. But guys, it's a new year, and it's we're finished off at the end of the year for the Jader and Kyle show. We started this back in March, when the pandemic first started, and it's been quite a ride to getting to this point so far. I mean, what do you think about that?
it has been, man, and I'm so glad that we've been able to somewhat keep up. I think we missed a couple of weeks here and there, but it's been a ride. It's been fun. We've had uh, exceptional guests. We've had tremendous guests, which is this is kind of going to be a kind of a thank you episode to them, and just kind of go back on the this should have been the year in review episode, guys, but obviously we're a little
New
bit
year.
late, so we're doing it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's been quite the ride, man. It's crazy. I love how this was just out of whim, man. We were just keeping in touch with each other. We hadn't seen talked to each other in a little bit, and you're like, I'm fucking bored, dude. I'm seeing a shitload of movies, and we haven't. I can't talk about them. So with the Nobodies going in a hiatus at the time, which is now we can announce, obviously, definite hiatus, but I was too watching a shitload of movies, and I was like, man, we got to talk about these. And obviously with the whole Schmodown thing with me going on, I had obviously some of those guys join us as well. But it's what up, Tim?
Tim,
But
Tim, check your email. I'm gonna send you something.
yeah. So but yeah, man, it's been fun, man. We've had a lot of fun episodes, a lot of movies that you love that I was like, fuck no, and then vice versa and all that. So
The Rock.
I don't know how you still don't like that movie. That movie is phenomenal, dude.
It's fine.
I love that movie.
It's fine. Tim, if I can find your email, I'll get you on, man. I would love to have Tim come on the show again. But
hell yeah.
As you're saying, it's funny how you get to certain points in life, because we were both doing podcasts before this. Like you said, you were doing the Nobodies. I was doing Hoopla a little while ago, basketball podcast, which just seems so far out at this point. But getting here, I've always loved talking movies with my friends. And when we were in quarantine, you really can't do that. You're kind of stuck. Like, you go to the movies with friends, and then you would talk about it afterwards with them or before, have fun discussions, whatever it may be. But nowadays, you can't even go to theaters anymore. It's been tough. So getting to do this in a form of podcast, communicating with you guys, getting to talk with you, Jader, once a week. Well, actually, you stay in touch all week.
Yeah, we stay in touch.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a little annoying.
No, not at all.
No,
not
but
at all.
Otherwise, it's been a ton of fun doing this. And the show's not going anywhere. The show's still rolling along. We're keep going as long as computers work. So, Jader, I mean, do you remember the first movie we did for this show?
Ooh, little pop quiz there, man. First movie we did.
Man, it was a very not obscure, but I guess it's a movie that I was not expecting to win.
Jesus Christ! I was thinking I thought it was The Fugitive.
That's
but
correct.
It was The Fugitive, right? Okay, Fugitive. But I didn't know that was the second episode or not.
Yes.
Yeah, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed. That was the first time I saw that movie. I think I got to go back to see, but I remember seeing it. I was like, it's fine. I don't know if it's Oscar worthy, but then it kind of stuck with me after that.
So I remember our second episode, our first two episodes, I wasn't wild about. It was two movies I hadn't seen yet. And the first one, I'm like, all right, The Fugitive, whatever. I watched it. It's fine. It's nothing special. I got to see where the famous meme came from. but that was really it. That's like all I cared about. Then the next week, I'm like, all right, fine, we'll get to something that I care about even more. Hadn't seen Point Break. And then that was so much fun with you, man, getting to go over Point Break, and you even coming to realization that you're like,
that's not as good as I remember.
No, it's not very good. I'm like,
let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. Obviously, we said earlier on the show during quarantine, I went back and even with Steph, tried to show her a bunch of movies that that I saw growing up, and I thought that were really cool. And there's a lot that I'm like held up there. We're watching it now, and I'm like, yeah, this movie's not as good as I remember it being, man.
It's strange because it's happened to me a couple of times. What was the what else did I have? Oh, the Back to the Future trilogy when we did that.
God, I love that movie. I love those movies.
Amazing. Then the second one's
it's crazy because as a kid with the flying cars and all that, absolutely, it's fun. It's right here. Look, boop, where are we? Right there.
Oh, we got everything in there.
Universal Studios shirt, super cool. But yeah, man, I remember as a kid, I was like, Part 2 is hands down the best Back to the Future. Doesn't even come close to any of the other ones. This and that and that. And growing up, I'm like, this movie kind of sucked. Like besides the beginning, the very like first 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, oh man, this was really cool. But after that, man, it like drags. I don't want to say drags. It doesn't drag. It's just not as good as 1 or 3. And 3 was the one that I thought I really did not like, and it's fucking great.
It's fun, yeah. It's funny too because we don't do those franchise episodes anymore. When every month we're like, okay, we're gonna do a franchise. We're gonna knock out all the movies and talk about them on one big episode. And I think we really killed ourselves doing Marvel in the first month. When we did every single Marvel Studios movie from Iron Man.
What episode was that, dude? That was like what? Like the first 5 episodes.
That was the third episode we ever did.
Jesus Christ, man. 4-hour stream.
I remember I came up with the idea for you. Let's do an entire franchise. You're like, well, let's just start it big. Let's do Marvel. I'm like, all right, let's do Marvel. But then
I told you, I'm like, we should do the first half and then we'll save the episode for another. You're like, we're doing all of them. I'm like, holy shit. Never again.
It was so. I mean, I think I reflect on that, and that might be one of our best and worst episodes at the same time.
No, I mean, we had a great panel. Timmy was there. Yeah. We had James on there. We had Kaiser on there. We had BC on there. We had quite the panel with us, man. And then there were some that were in there, and there's some that I'm like, dude, I gotta tap out, man. I'm done.
It was too much. It was too much for us too. I mean, I was exhausted by the end of it. You have a friend asking what happened to your beard.
It's actually kind of back now. It was completely gone. But yeah, thanks for that. I hate your guts. Hey, look.
Look at the chat. Miriam. Miriam was a fun guest that we had on the show also.
She did a movie that she hated. I mean, we're here like trying to tell our guests, hey, pick your favorite movie, this and that and that. And then we ended up doing Batman versus Superman, which I don't totally hate. Like I always say, I kind of defend that movie now. I don't think it's as bad as Suicide Squad or Wonder Woman 1984. Thoughts on that, sir?
Wonder Woman.
Can we get Tim on? Let's get Tim on first.
I sent him the email, so let's wait to talk about that with Tim.
We'll talk about Wonder Woman a little bit. A little quick review on Wonder Woman 1984. I know everybody, a lot of people like, oh my God. See, I told Miriam too. We got to send the link out to Miriam very quick to see if she wants to jump on
right now.
Message me your email, Miriam, and we'll get you on there so we can talk Wonder Woman.
It might be still saved here, guys. In case you were wondering, this is going to be a rotating panel of guests. Whoever has been on the show before, we sent invites to. If they want to hop on, they can hop on, say hi. As of right now, we are just waiting around if people want to come on. I don't think I still have her email at this point.
I'll get it for you. Well, I'll have her message me. But
regardless.
Oh man, look, everybody over here. Look at Anthony.
Anthony, not bad.
Not that bad. Jesus Christ.
I never agree with Anthony on anything. Whenever it comes to movies, he doesn't like Marvel, but he'll love James Bond. Like, come on, man.
He likes Miami. Hold on, man. I'm gonna get us this very quick, and I'm gonna send it to you, Kyle. But yeah, man. I mean, again, it's been a fun year. We're very appreciative of every single guest that we had on. I don't think we've honestly had a bad episode with any guests. If we've had any episode that we were like, about, it was probably just me and you.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like every single guest, I love, just adding, seeing a different POV than others, because we kind of know what movies we're gonna like more or less, unless it takes us by surprise. But overall, we'll be like, all right, we'll be okay.
Anthony, first of all, check your email, man. I just sent you an invite if you want to hop on the show. Jader, I gotta say, I think one of my favorite episodes that we ever did was "I Love You, Man" with your girlfriend Steph. I will never forget her kind of pointing out something to us that we were just completely clueless to, and then it blew both of our minds. Yes.
That was pretty great.
That was fun. Another
Chance was a killer. What movie did we review with Chance? We had Mike. Mike, listen to me. We had Nost on the show.
Yeah, Matt Nost. We
did Matt Nost. What do we do? We did Goodfellas with him.
Goodfellas with him. What you were saying before, we just did recently. I remember we did Reservoir Dogs with Kaiser. We did Psycho with William Bibiani. That was my favorite
awesome
episode right there.
Love that episode as well.
To hear what he has to say about classic film is one of the best things we have going on.
We got to get Bibbs on the show again, man. We really, really do.
So, guys, Jader, we have our first guest ready to go, and it's exactly what you hope for. Send me over the link when you get a chance, but here is our first guest, Tim. Tim, it's been so long since we've had you on the show, man. Welcome back.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
How's it going, man? Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah. I haven't seen you guys since the 4.5-hour MCU fest we did.
Damn right.
The one that haunts us forever.
As we're doing the year in review, Tim, we're talking about that episode popped up.
Definitely a standout, man.
It changed our entire show. It made us realize that we can't keep doing this like this every single week.
We started at breakfast and went through breakfast and skipped lunch. I was like, wow, we were on for a real long time.
Let me tell you, man, I knew I had something to do that afternoon. I had to take Steph to run an errand, or she needed to run an errand, and I was like, no, I won't be long. I think it's gonna be like 2 hours max. And I remember getting off and kind of like doing that like walk of shame, like upstairs. And she opened, she goes, 2 hours, huh? And I was like, God damn it, man. And I'm like, it was Marvel. What do you want me to do? And then she's like, I knew it. Every time you say it's gonna be a quick episode, it never is. And I'm like, my bad, man. That's on me. I blame Kyle, actually. I'm like, I wanted to stop by Avengers. And then I want to say like probably like Civil War or something like that. I wanted to stop somewhere a little bit early on, or maybe even Age of Ultron. And he was like, I think we should just do the whole thing. And I was like, are you sure? Because there's going to be a lot of people saying different things about different movies. Everybody's different. And then so
everyone has their opinions, and we just all right. Incredible.
I think there was only one movie that we kind of like just flew by. I forgot which one it was.
Captain Marvel.
Yes, it was Captain Marvel. We're like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, we don't want to get Endgame.
Yeah.
But Tim, I gotta ask you, man. One of my favorite things that I've seen in the chat recently is Wonder Woman 1984. Your outburst about this movie made me laugh so hard. We kind of feel the same way about it, but Tim, you got to express your feelings. What is it about Wonder Woman that you hate?
First of all, in case one of my friends is watching, he swears that I am anti-DC. I am not anti-DC. I am anti-Warner Brothers DC. Right. I am. Out of all these movies, I like maybe two of them. Two. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get on your show about Batman vs Superman so bad that night. I would have tore that shit apart. I would have changed. I guarantee I would have changed a couple of your minds about how you like that movie or not.
No, I'm glad I didn't have you on the show then.
Oh my God. There's so many little things in that movie that drove me crazy. So last week we were upstate for Christmas, and everyone's going crazy. I said, I'm gonna go watch Wonder Woman. Let me go watch Wonder Woman. And I went into it again. I'm one of the few people that didn't. I'm not hurrah over the first one either. I was a little bored with it, to be honest. I didn't like the special effects in the first one. And I hated the giant plot holes of the ending. It drove me crazy, and I can't stand that. So here comes the second one, and again, it's very slow. It's very boring. The CGI is terrible, and it has another horrible ending. So here I am sitting. I went into my little bedroom upstate by myself, watched this movie. I came out of that room
you didn't see it in the theater.
Wow. No. I watched it on TV and at home.
Okay.
So I was like, it was the exact same thing as the first one for me, only worse. And I was so mad that I spent 2.5 hours of my life watching this movie that I started getting like real insane about it.
So let me tell you my story.
I'll never watch it again.
Let me tell you my story very quick.
Hold on, Jader. Before you do this, I gotta introduce another guest that kind of makes this movie.
Yes. What up, man?
I'm literally listening to you guys, and I'm like, this is perfect. Hi, everyone.
Miriam, welcome back. Good to see you.
It's good to see you. Nice to meet you, Tim.
She actually interviewed.
Nice to meet you.
I interviewed Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins for this film, right? So she posted it on her page, and I wrote to her, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking amazing!" This and that, and that. And I'm like, "How was it?" And then she's like, "Watch it, and we'll talk." And I'm like, "Awesome." As soon as I saw it, the first person I wrote was to her. Well, to Kyle first, and then to her. And she's like, "Hey, I'm on vacation." I'm like, "We need to talk about this shit," and because I don't know where she stands, I don't know where she's at, And so let me spoiler alert. I obviously didn't like this movie. So I couldn't see it on Christmas. Busy day for me with the kids and, obviously, trying to see them, bring them to my house, open gifts and family and all that. So I couldn't see it. I think I saw it on that Saturday night. So on the 26th at night, I start watching it at home as well. I saw the whole scene with her as a little girl, and I was like, all right, this is cool. I like this. And then the mall scene hits, right? So I'm watching the mall scene. And I can't believe that this is a 2020 film because it looked so old. The CGI looked terrible, and it was so effing cheesy. Mm-hmm. And I paused it and I turned over to Steph and I'm like, is it just me? And she goes, super corny. And I was like, oh my God, okay. I'm like, I can't do this tonight because I was exhausted, but I'm like, I gotta watch this movie because everybody keeps talking about it. It's very split. It's very either you hate it or you love it. There's some people that adore this film. They're like, I don't see the hate. And there's some people that are like, with me, they're like, this movie sucks. So I ended up going, I'm like, you know what? I am too exhausted from obviously working the holidays, staying up Noche Buena, waking up at freaking 7 a.m. to see my kids. We lost Tim.
Tim couldn't take it. Okay, I got a replacement.
Boom!
Anthony, welcome back.
Anthony.
Yeah.
So Wonder Woman is not bad, man.
Time out, bro. I'm on it. You're gonna get your turn. Okay. Anywho, so I end up pausing and going to sleep, but I was like, I hope this gets better because I really didn't like the beginning. Overall, it did get slightly better, and it's a smidge better for me. I love the Chris Pine and her thing. Liked. I don't want to say love. I did like him a lot in the film, Pedro Pascal, but other than that, nothing else worked for me. I felt like it was incredibly cheesy. I felt it was boring as fuck. And I just, it was one of those, again, where not that I don't love character development or anything or just character writing, but I didn't like the fact that we saw Wonder Woman once in an hour and 20 minutes maybe of the film. It was just, there was nothing going on. So yeah, I really disliked. I was really disappointed. Everybody hated the whole Linda Carter thing. A lot of people did. I ended up loving that, and I'm looking forward. That was what was kind of like a saving grace for me, where I was like, let me see what they do with her, just to see her on screen again, But yeah, this movie did not work for me at all. So you guys can go at it now.
I want to go next because I got to see this movie before everyone, and
Oh, you're
I had
so
to.
cool.
I had to keep quiet. Of course, there was an embargo, which I was like, first red flags when there's an embargo. I watched this movie the night the Marvel Disney slate was happening, the Disney Investor Day. So my phone was blowing up. I'm watching this movie, and I have a bunch of feelings, right? So I come into the movie. Obviously, opening scene is the I can't say it right, but we're there. I loved it. I did see the CGI was iffy, and I saw this movie in a movie theater. I didn't get to watch it at home because I wanted to watch it in a movie theater, and I got to share the screen with 2 other people. The second act, I hated it. It bored me. I hate the whole Steve Trevor plot, how he got in there. Confusing. It was so confusing to me.
It was confusing as shit because I didn't get it either. I was like, how is he not back? But missiles appear out of nowhere, and that's fine. But why can't he come back from the dead? Like, if they would have said, like, oh, he's back and he's normal, I would have gotten that because it was a wish. I get it. But they went around this shit. They, like, broke their own rules. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
And I hated how that invisible jet scene, it was supposed to be a bigger scene than what it was. I just hated that. I hated. Now, Act 3, look, I love Pedro Pascal, and he owned it in this movie. I feel like they should have given him more, but time being, whatever. Kristen Wiig, another character, I wish they would have given her more. I don't necessarily...
She wasn't bad. Yeah. She was just wasted. It was a wasted
character. And I don't necessarily hate the movie, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I loved the first one. The first one just captured me, and this one just didn't do it for me as much as I wanted it to. And, we weren't, none of the press got to see the post credit. We were told there was a post credit, but no one knew about it because Warner Brothers didn't want any of the press to see the after credit. So the Linda Carter, I found that online. I'm like, great. I'm in Costa Rica, and I'm just like, well, okay. Yeah. I have not yet watched the movie again here at home, so that's my 2 takes on it.
It ended, and I was kind of like quiet, and I'm like, well, I'm so glad I didn't see this in the theater because I would have been pissed.
And the CGI was rocky. It was not. Yeah. It was meant to be on TV, and I couldn't imagine. Oh God.
Yeah,
Anthony, we got to hear from you now, man.
Anthony, let's go, dude.
I feel I'm more in line with Miriam a little bit, but I just liked it a little bit more. It's not a horrible movie.
Wait, did you like this more than the first one?
No.
Okay. I was like, wait, hold on.
I'm not insane. Like, I know the first one's still better, but what I'm saying is the movie is not bad. It's just like I feel a lot of people are complaining about the Trevor thing, but I like that they didn't bring him back 100%, because then it's the same thing with Loki. Loki dies. No, he doesn't. Loki comes back. Loki dies. No, Loki comes back. Trevor's dead, okay? And they had to put him in another body to bring him back. Give me that a million times over Loki coming back whenever he wants to, and for no reason.
Blasphemous.
No, it's not. Loki's still dead, but he has his own show now? Okay, sure. Sure. And hold on. So, like, when Trevor comes back, I like the way he came back. I think they probably brought him back more to give Wonder Woman, some more character development, where she kind of had to, because I think if we see in the beginning of the movie, she's flirting, or other guys are trying to flirt with her, but she wants nothing with it, right?
Yeah.
Then she has to kind of let go of Trevor. But by having Trevor be in another man's body, it kind of shows her, like, look, you can move on. You can love somebody else. You just have to let go of me. So I think it was kind of more of a reflection of her reality of not being able to move on romantically. And I think her going through that pain allowed her to kind of take flight and do all that other stuff. That's why, for me, that worked. The Kristen Wiig thing, I don't know. It was not for me. It was not for me. I just don't like the cheater character in general. I didn't think she really needed to be in this movie.
She did it. You could take her out and literally change nothing.
Yeah, 2 villains was overkill. Pedro Pascal overshadowed her by 1,000.
Absolutely.
Can I step in here? I gotta say, this movie pissed me off, and I think it was more because I was expecting something great after the first one, and this one immediately frustrated me. And it was from that opening scene where she's a little girl on the island. First of all, it makes no sense that you're doing this well compared to all these other women who are the same type of women as you, but for some reason you're just as good at them at 10 years old. All right. And the thing what happens if you haven't seen this movie yet, at the beginning, she's winning the competition, completely destroying them. She falls off her horse and lands conveniently next to this slide in the side of a mountain for no reason. There's just a slide there, right? Gets on the slide, passes everyone, ends up in the front. And as she's about to win the competition, Robin Wright stops her and says, "No, you don't get to win because you cheated." Well, why did you put a slide there on the mountain where they could just where they could just conveniently get on it? Like if she didn't cheat, she improvised.
It's a movie. It's a fiction movie.
They were preparing you for cheetah, bro.
No.
Oh
That's-
God.
That's bad.
No, but also this movie breaks its own rules constantly, right? I thought you have to touch the wishing rock, which is completely ridiculous, by the way. But I thought you had to touch the wishing rock in order to make a wish. But by the end, he's like, "No, you just got to look in my eyes, and I can broadcast to the entire world that then you can make your wish."
What did he touch them though? Because he became the Rock. What did
He
touch
became
them?
the Rock.
Yes.
Yeah, remember he became the Rock, and he would touch them if I'm not mistaken, or he would
No.
always have their hand.
No,
No?
at the end though, when he's broadcasting to the entire world.
Oh, yeah. Well,
touching it.
okay. Fair. Fair.
Tim, unleash.
Well, I disagree with the Steve Trevor thing right off the bat too, because oh my God, I get so angry. To me, it doesn't make sense because, like you said, you're trying to get over Steve Trevor, but the only reason she gave this guy the time of day was because he's Steve Trevor trapped in some other guy's body. Now, where's this guy? Who is this guy? Where does he go? Where does his conscience go during this whole thing? And she bangs him. He doesn't look like Steve Trevor. He looks like this poor guy. It doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean, poor
whatsoever.
guy, bro? You got to bang Wonder Woman.
That's true. No. You're right.
Funny.
You're right. He got to have sex with Wonder Woman and Gal Gadot, whatever. I agree with that. But for him, that's great. And then at the end of the movie, she has to pretend like she didn't just bang this dude for how long? Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. It's Christmas time. Yay, we're all happy now. Where was he? Where was his conscience? Where did he go? Does he know? No, he don't know. He doesn't know,
I have a
where he
question.
was.
Does she see the other guy or does she see
Yes.
Chris Pine?
No,
It's the other guy, but she even says it in the film. She goes, "I only see you." Because remember, when he's looking at the mirror, trying on the different 80s styles, she says, "I only see you." So she sees Chris
The other
Pine,
guy.
even though it's the other guy. Everyone else apparently
Yeah.
sees the other guy.
The other guy. Yeah. You see, this whole thing is so confusing for no reason. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tim.
No, that's true. Exactly. For no reason. There's no reason. Just bring him back. Just bring him back. The guy, first of all, he never should have died in the first place. That's the major plot hole of number one. Don't even get me started on that. But the major. Oh, I start getting crazy. But yeah, like I said, first of all, I thought the first hour and a half was completely boring. I did enjoy Kristen Wiig. I thought she was very underused. I thought she could have been good. But how'd she get 2 wishes at the end? She got 2 wishes. First of all, we're talking about a movie about wishes. Wishes! This is a DC movie with all these fantastic villains you have in there to choose from. And we're talking about a movie about making a wish. It's ridiculous.
It's a wishing rock.
Stupid. It's a wish. I'm sorry, you're right. It's a wishing rock, which becomes a wishing man. And then he straps on Edward Nygma's thing from Batman Forever and starts talking to the world. And then she, for some reason, she can lasso him and talk through him to talk to the whole world. It is so stupid. I'm so glad I didn't pay to see this movie in the theater. I probably would have been throwing stuff at the screen. That's how bad it was.
So is this the worst DCEU movie? That's a question for everyone.
That's Justice League.
Okay.
No, I still give it a Suicide Squad.
I would rather watch Justice League and Suicide Squad on a loop for 48 straight hours than watch this movie ever again. And all that madness.
I don't think
You're
it's
not
the worst.
alone.
It's bottom 3 for me though. It's not worse than. I probably enjoyed Justice League a little bit more than I did this. This is probably bottom 2 for me. This is right above Suicide Squad. I really didn't like this film. I didn't see myself even wanting to go back to maybe give it a second. I mean, it's still early, you get me? But unless I have to like study this for Schmodown or something like that, I won't be watching this again.
That's why I was like, I'm just gonna fast forward to the post-credit scene because I wasn't just like.
Yeah, no, I can't, man. I can't, and I don't know. Like I said, it's not like the DCU has like phenomenal films either, but I really couldn't get into this at all. And I remember pausing it even, and it was like 45 minutes in, and it's a 2.5 hour long movie. And I'm like, I still got 2 hours. Like I felt like I saw a lot already.
Peter, I have a question though. What's worse, Thor: The Dark World or Wonder Woman 84?
I will see Thor: The Dark World over and over again.
No way. I would see Wonder Woman 1984. There's no way I would watch Thor: The Dark World again. Hell no.
I honestly, I don't know. Maybe because I haven't seen Thor: in the Dark World since 2013 or whenever the hell that came out.
And you don't need to.
But I just guess I guess since it's so fresh in my head that I didn't remember walking. I remember being mad at Thor, but not like the movie wasn't great, and I walked out. But this I think it was maybe that what Kyle said that and again Tim doesn't agree, but I absolutely loved the first Wonder Woman. I thought that movie was fucking phenomenal. So it was just such a disappointment of it was the hype, my own hype, I guess, that when I even saw the trailer for this one, I was like, bro, this movie looks fucking great. I can't wait to see Wonder Woman 1984. Thor, I remember not a lot of people love the first Thor movie. A lot of people that think that so did I. I really liked it a lot. Obviously, when we get to Thor in the Dark World, there's so many other Marvel movies that were like, all right, like this wasn't the best. It was obviously at the time it was bottom tier. It wasn't worse than Iron Man 2 for me. I guess Iron Man 2 is my Suicide Squad because I hate Iron Man 2. But I've seen Thor in the Dark World at least 2 or 3 times. I don't think, and that was like, all right, I'm gonna pop it in and watch it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this with this anytime soon. At least not anytime soon, unless again I have to study it or whatever.
I have a question. Okay, so now they confirmed Wonder Woman 3. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Like,
the only way to go but up.
Anywhere but up. I mean, anywhere but down. You can only go up from here. There's no way. You know what? I'm not gonna say it.
Like, what characters should we expect now for Wonder Woman 3? What villain? I mean, I don't know.
I think it's Cheetah again, and it wouldn't surprise me if they.
But final form.
But they might do a Cheetah kind of like Civil War. How they had Crossbones right in the beginning of the movie, and they'll defeat that, and then there's gonna be a bigger enemy because they can do so many. They already did Ares, obviously. They did Cheetah. You have they did Maxwell Lord. You have Dr. Poison, Dr. Psycho. You have Giganta. There's so many Wonder Woman villains that they can do.
Cheetah's a really big character.
She is. That's why I feel like she was so wasted. Because I really liked Kristen Wiig in the movie. I don't think she was bad. I thought Kristen Wiig did a really good job.
I think they have more for her for the third one. I think that's what they're doing.
I didn't buy into the friendship, if you will, because they had just met, and it wasn't like they were hanging out all the time. They met, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah." She saves him from that man, and then it was like on a quick, like, okay, she's a villain now, and you guys are gonna fight each other. I didn't buy into the whole them beefing shit, I guess that in my opinion was underdeveloped, but
But how
maybe
they'll save her. Cheetah? How does she become Cheetah now without the Rock? She can't make a wish anymore.
That's the third movie.
She already got 2 wishes. You're supposed to get 1. She got 2. So now
Cheetah.
Is she getting a third? No, at the end she was back to normal.
Really? What?
Yeah, she was ready normal. To get out. She was normal at the end of the movie. She was.
Yes.
Everybody had to renounce their wish.
Yep.
Well, that's it. Cheetah's done.
So she
as they were saying that, it's quiet in my house because we're all like disappointed watching this movie. And Steph goes, "I renounce this movie. Fuck this movie."
It's not.
Wait, do you know what scene actually drove me batty? When she learns to fly. Spoiler alert! Sorry, everybody. She flies, and she flies for miles and miles, doing flips and turns, and where was she? Home. She had to go back home to get her stupid armor from Flash Gordon. She's flying around all over the world.
Don't you mean Power Rangers? That was totally Goldar's armor.
You're right. I'll take that. I'll take that too. I'll take that too. That's better.
You
than
know,
what she
one of
had
my
on.
favorite scenes, I gotta say, was probably when they're getting in the jet and they're getting shot at. And she's just rubbing her hands, and he's like, "What are you gonna do?" And she's like, "I've only done this once, but I got to figure out how my father was able
That's
to make
so
the island
stupid.
invisible." And I'm like, "Oh, you've only done this once?" And then she just makes a jet turn invisible. All she had to do was rub her hands and close her eyes, and it worked.
That scene
That was
annoyed
the
me.
funniest scene in the movie.
That what?
That was the funniest scene in the movie too.
That scene was ridiculous to me.
It's so bad.
It is so bad. I was like, oh,
the fully fueled jet at the Smithsonian. Right. I'll buy. I know it's a movie, but okay. All those jets at the Smithsonian are fully fueled and ready to fly. Come on now.
I think people watching are not going to watch this.
Yeah,
no.
on this, guys. It's been Wonder Woman. Not Wonder Woman 84.
You're welcome, is what I'm saying. You're welcome.
You're welcome. We just told you all the spark notes.
Yeah, dude.
I watched it.
No.
Too. It's worth it.
You saw it twice willingly?
Yeah.
Willingly?
Yeah, I'm in my house. Like, I need to
No,
watch
dude.
it.
You know,
Oh man.
let me tell you, I don't know if this movie it was just that great, but it helped. I saw Soul after I finished watching
Oh my
Wonder Woman
God.
1884, and holy shit, was that a film! All right, so no, see, look at Anthony. God damn it, man.
Anthony, no. Anthony,
Animated
no.
movie.
Kyle, get him out of this chat. No. Don't you
I
dare.
haven't
No.
watched it. I haven't watched it. It just doesn't look enticing.
Oh no.
Anthony, I watched
gotta
this
watch
movie
it.
on
Look,
Monday.
here, I have good news. I did finally get Disney Plus, so it's a step forward. I did get Disney Plus, so
I'm sure Disney's very happy that they finally have your money.
They have your $7.99 or $6.99, whatever the.
no, I ended up getting the package, all three. So now
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You
Hulu,
baller.
ESPN.
Yeah.
I got the same one.
yeah, but I'm not gonna watch Soul.
What? No, hold on. I can't. I think Soul is an adult Pixar movie. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think it's tended for the kiddies. I think it's tended for us older.
Most of Pete Docter's films aren't, except for Monsters Inc. Because Up is the same way. It's more for us, and Inside Out as well. It's more for the adults and things. And Wally's more for kids.
Like,
But I feel like they're very mature themed films. So I understand. I said the same thing. My kids liked it a lot, actually. Lots of questions to be answered because they were like, "Oh, well, what does this mean? Does this mean this? This is, it was like one of those like they kept asking, but they ended up liking it, So
Yeah,
I would definitely check it out.
Soul's great, guys. I think you should definitely check it out. Like Jader saying, guys, thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi to us on our year in review show. You are all going to be back this year. We're gonna get you back on for more movies. Miriam, we're gonna get you on for something that you actually like, so you can gush about a movie. Anthony, I want to hear you destroy a film. And Tim, we got you coming for Star Wars, Mandalorian, whatever you want to do. We're gonna find something for you, man. So, guys, thank you so much for coming back.
Also, you guys had a
Thank you so
stellar
much.
year, and you guys are amazing. So just know
Thank you
that.
so much.
Keep doing the great work that you guys do.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Later.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye.
All right.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad we had people.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna invite a couple more at this point. But are we even gonna get to this movie at this point?
Yeah, we will eventually.
Eventually. This is not gonna be like
I think I just sent you a text.
I saw it.
So yeah. So who's our next guest? If we have one. If not, we just keep the show on
No
the
one's
road.
in the waiting room currently right now. I've had a couple inquiries, so we're gonna see what happens. But let's get rid of this Wonder Woman thing. So Jader, we do have a movie to get to us. I guess we should kind of start talking about this at this point.
Okay.
It's a little late. We were gonna do this right after Christmas, but it's okay. The Night Before is one of, I think, the best Christmas movies in the past decade, probably the century at this point. And
Better than Last Christmas?
it's close, man.
I don't know, man. You were gushing over that one, dude.
This is better than Last Christmas to me. I've watched this every single year since it's come out on Christmas time.
Nice.
And I feel like it's one of those undiscovered films that a lot of people just haven't had a chance to see at this point. And every time that someone sees it, they're like, "Oh man, this movie's great. How come I haven't seen this before?" So I don't know how many times you've seen this since it's been out, but like, do you revisit this every Christmas?
No, I definitely do not. This was the third time I've seen this movie since it came out, and it came out what, like 2015? I want to say
16, I think.
16 around there. But yeah, this is the third time I see it, and every time that I do watch it, well, the last two times, I always say the same thing. I'm like, this movie's great. Why don't I revisit this often? Like, it has to be one of those that I throw in the rotation of Christmas movies because it's so freaking funny.
Yeah,
so funny. I wasn't. Not that I should be blasting or putting my shit out there, but I wasn't Father of the Year today because kids were building Legos or playing with their thing while this movie's going on, and they happened to turn. They're not really watching it, but obviously the movie cusses up a storm. But they turn around on the Anthony Mackie bathroom scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, hey, like clapping for them to look at me. And I'm like, look at me.
I think it was the Seth Rogen getting dick pic scene.
Oh, you have no idea, dude. After that, I was like, damn, man. I'm like, do they actually show it or is it just a talk? Do they just talk? And then I'm like, oh no, they show it. I remember now. So yeah, but no, they were just like playing. They happened to just look, I guess, because of said noises that were happening on screen or whatever, that they turned around, and then I had to like kind of like, hey.
So I'm going to ask you this: how does it feel watching a Christmas movie after Christmas, like in the new year?
It still kind of feels like Christmas here. Again, the kids are still opening gifts. They're allowed to open one new toy every time they come over, because if not, my house would be a complete disaster right now. But yeah, so it again. I still have Christmas wrapping papers from whatever toy they open and whatnot. So still in the holiday spirit, I guess. I don't feel like it's not Christmas. I think like the first non-Christmas thing that I really do is the Super Bowl. So that's kind of when I feel like, all right, winter's over type shit. At least for me. But yeah, so it didn't feel bad. And again, it's a fun movie to revisit, man. Especially, I haven't seen it in maybe about 2 years. It's been a while.
Yeah.
And it was a fun rewatch. And I honestly was like, I'm just gonna watch it right before the show starts, just because I could have seen it. I actually revisited a Gordon Levitt movie because I was like, I had him in my head. I ended up watching Looper 2 nights ago.
Oh shit!
And I fucking love that movie. That's set for another day because I can talk about that movie.
We still haven't forgetting Sarah Marshall. Like that's been one that's been on the top of our list for a while.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, we kind of mentioned it in the Paul Rudd episode. We just didn't dive deep in there.
Yeah,
you know. But yeah, Sarah Marshall is one that we definitely got to review. But
well, I gotta say, what I really love about this movie so much, I think I connect with is it's funny and I laugh at the same stuff every single year, but it's got a lot of heart too.
It does.
It revolves around these three friends.
It does feel like a legit Christmas movie, but it just happens to have some drugs and some cuss words in it. That's pretty much what it is.
Christmas doesn't at this point. I mean, yeah. But you think about it, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, his character, his parents died on Christmas Eve, and he was all by himself. So his friends go to comfort him on Christmas Eve, and they go out, and it just becomes a tradition at this point. And then you get to see these three friends are finally splitting off, and this is going to be the last time they do it. But do they really need to split off? And that's kind of the conundrum that they're going throughout all of this. So you have one last fun final night and I just every single year I really connect with the whole plot with that, because when we graduate high school, college, move, whatever it is, we always say we're going to stay in touch, but it gets really difficult to. So
even when you leave work, when you work with somebody for such a long time, and you get relocated to another store, or you end up quitting, or that person quits and you get a better job, that friendship that you have kind of just stays in the past. It doesn't really happen because you have different schedules, different, you got to really, really make an effort to have somebody, to keep that friendship going. So one thing, going to basing off what you're saying, I love that, because again, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character, Ethan, he kind of just stays where he's at because that's what he holds on to. He, again, what should be the worst holiday of the year for him, because that's when his parents died. He grabs onto it like that because his two friends were there for him that night, and then one of them ends up becoming a pro football player, super famous, and then the other ones got married and is having a kid on the way. So people grow up, and you gotta grow up. It is what it is. And I love that. That's what I love about this movie. It does have a lot of heart. So I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah, it's something that that I think is important when it comes to a Christmas movie. Is you have to entertain us, you have to be about Christmas somehow, and then you also have to make us feel warm inside at the end of it, because that's really what these Christmas movies are about, is feeling joyful and getting ready, getting yourself in the holiday spirit, which is why I really liked how these past couple of years they've been releasing Christmas movies in November, so that you get in that spirit early. Like I remember when the new animated Grinch came out a couple of years ago. That came out like right after Halloween, and I was ready for Christmas all the way up till then.
I love that movie, by the way. I love the animated Grinch.
I think it's a lot better than the.
I can't stand the Ron Howard film. I don't like it. It didn't click with me. So that's why I was actually hesitant on seeing the animated Grinch. I didn't see it in the theater. I ended up watching it at home because the kids wanted to see it once it was released on video, and we ended up watching. I'm like, this movie's really cute. I liked it a lot. Like, thought it was a really good movie. Can't say that about. I hate both live action Dr. Seuss movies. I don't like the Cat in the Hat, and I despise the Cat in the Hat, and I don't like I can sit down and watch the Grinch over Cat in the Hat easily, but it wasn't until Horton Hears a Who that I was like, all right, animated Dr. Seuss, give me that all day.
We have another guest waiting in the wings. He has been on twice now at this point, one for his own movie and then another time for our Marvel movie draft. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Craig the Barbarian. Welcome back, sir.
Hey. Thank you. I would say the comic book movie draft, and I would point out that I won that draft by virtue of by virtue of being the person here that was a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like maybe if someone else here had been a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they would have known the answer to their 5-point question in the IG finals.
Oh my God!
A very simple Ninja Turtles quote. Had no idea what it was.
Allison, just pouring salt on the wound.
It's a good thing these guys aren't lumberjacks. Safe in the woods would be the trees.
Oh my God!
Donatello and Michelangelo during the fight scene in April O'Neil's place. Oh my God! It's so I cannot believe. At any rate, I feel like you call that kismet. I don't mean to toss any shade at Chance. I just thought it was funny how much crap that both Chance and Robert gave me for picking Ninja Turtles. And for Chance to lose on that movie was just and the funny thing was, so like Winston Marshall and I on the Inner Geekdom show had discussed the Ninja Turtles film, and I even sang the Ninja Turtles rap live on the show. And I texted him after I was like, you I knew that 5-pointer. Hey, I got to turn my
this food is ready. We will remove for a moment.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Oh my God!
Always a joy.
I'm trying to get Chance on right now. We'll see if he jumps in there.
Always a joy to have the Barbarian stop by. He is Craig. Greg's one of our fun guests that we've had on this show. That's one thing we've really covered. We're going to bounce around quite a bit. I won't be surprised if we go pretty late tonight. But at the same time, let's get back into the movie. Well, actually, no. Jader, who have been like some of your favorite? What's been your favorite episode, do you think, since we've started this show?
Shit, man. Anytime, honestly, Barbarians on. The Big Lebowski episode was big. No pun intended. You mentioned Bibbs episode for me was huge to have him on, and just the way he talked about the film. And I felt like, being able to keep up with Bibbs on a show about a classic film was, that was fun. But honestly, another one that I absolutely loved was my birthday episode, man. We got to review my favorite comedy with one of my favorite people on this planet, with Mark Ellis, man. That was a lot of fun.
So we're going to get back to the Barbarian in just a moment, but I have another special guest waiting in the wing. And Jader, you actually haven't met this person before. So this is going to be a nice little introduction here. He is Mr. Matthew Campana. Matthew, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back.
The other Jader. What up?
What's good?
What's going on, Matt?
How are you?
Pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I can't complain. I'm driving right now. I just entered Port St. Lucie. I just drove from Vero, and I just had to come check in with y'all, say what's up, come support.
You're the man, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for filling in that day, man. You saved the Jader and Kyle show for that week.
You're welcome.
No,
I want to do another one with y'all and come on and talk.
Whenever you want, man. Whenever you want. You just let Kyle know what movie you want to talk about, and then we'll end up doing it, man.
You missed a good episode, Jader, because Matt and I had a really good talk about Girl Interrupted.
I ended up seeing the episode, and I loved it. I thank you for opening up, man. I know it's not easy to talk about personal shit on the internet or whatever, but that was awesome. I liked how that I understood while I was watching the show. I understood why you picked that film, so which is phenomenal.
Yeah, I just wanted to just give the audience something real and uncut and just be honest, and it's okay to but I love that movie. It's such a great movie.
Yeah, and Matt's got a great podcast that's coming back pretty soon too. So you guys really need to check out that when that comes. What's that called again, Matt?
It's called Rain Podcast. We're about to be filming again. Go check it out. Rain Podcast, brought to you by Rain International on YouTube. Go follow, go like and subscribe. We rented out KK's Billard and just did our recent episode there. We're about to shoot another one for Valentine's Day on a yacht. So check that out in February when the next episode drops.
Nice.
Sounds good. Yeah. Matt, we really need to get you on with Jader. You guys can have a fun discussion with each other. Either if it's about a movie that you love or hate. Like, Matt, we got to do a movie that you just absolutely despise. I'd love to see you just rip into a movie one day. That could be so much fun.
Yeah, that's a cool concept. I definitely would do that.
Matt, thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi, man. We love having you on, and we'll see you again.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your night. Have fun.
Take care.
Salute, sir. Thank you for coming.
All right. That is Matt right there. We're going to bring in the Barbarian again. Welcome back, Craig.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. Again, for the second time tonight.
So have you've seen The Night Of, right, Greg?
Of course. The night before.
I have seen The Night Of also. I love The Night Of.
The Night Of is fantastic, which Kyle hasn't seen yet. I tell
oh my god, you got to watch The Night Of. It's basically what launched Riz Ahmed. It's the best acting John Turturro's probably ever done, and it's a phenomenal show. Yeah,
I got to get on that because last year my goal was to watch at least one movie a day to get the 366. Actually, was what it was last year, so I was able to accomplish that. But I really need to get back into some TV shows. So
you saw a movie a day last year?
Yeah,
I probably saw about 600 movies last year.
Yeah.
Well, see,
every time I would talk to him, he's like, I just saw all James Bond films today. I was like, what? Is that possible?
Today, so far today, I watched Slapshot. My first time ever watching Slapshot. Fantastic movie. I really wish that George Roy Hill had made more films. Because I've been watching a lot of his movies this year, and they're all fantastic. And then I also
So-
watched.
So I just gotta cut you off here for a sec, Barbarian,
Yeah.
because you threw some shots out tonight. You put some smoke in the air, and someone's trying here to catch that smoke. Here-
Oh, okay. Look, I was just saying. You guys, I was saying that I won.
We can't hear you,
I
Chance.
can't hear you. I was saying I won the comic book movie draft because I took Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, that's
And
why
then
that's why
maybe-
you lost the draft.
What?
That's why you lost the draft.
No, I won that draft by taking Ninja Turtles, and maybe if you had shown some respect to Ninja Turtles, that you would have known your 5-point answer.
If that movie deserved respect, I'd show respect. But that movie deserves no respect. Not in this
You
house.
know?
Hey,
Not in
hey,
any
hey.
house.
Well, it's
Hey,
Now,
you
look,
know.
I don't have much
Those
time.
are
Because
words,
I,
man.
like I said, I got to get the road like really soon. But
Yeah.
I want to say, I heard shots are being thrown, and now I see why. Barbarian.
I'm
I
just
understand you're
saying.
salty because you ain't got no belts. Your factions is a colossal trash heap.
I'm
and
a
you don't
free
know what's
agent.
going on forward, but it's okay.
Yeah,
It's
look.
okay. I want you to know I forgive you.
But I'm glad you remember what it was. I'm glad you remember what it felt like to wear a belt.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling you don't know, and you might never know.
Yeah,
I love this.
I don't really have much concern about that.
You should. Can't close.
No.
You can't close the deal. How you want a belt?
Close it. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen to me, Chance. Look, I won the comic book movie draft belt on this show.
Congratulations! You won that in a preseason match. No, you didn't even win that.
Huh?
You didn't win either of those things.
What are you talking about?
The preseason match. You and Beyond. You lost that too.
That wasn't.
I actually
First
won the
off,
draft. By votes, I ended up winning the draft.
no,
Really?
like 3 votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Mark should have beaten all of us.
yeah, well, no, he screwed up. He screwed up.
I want to come in, defend myself because I don't appreciate shots being thrown at me when I'm not around. So
Look, my shot was just talking about how you didn't appreciate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
it should be appreciated. Peace out.
All right.
See you, Chance.
Later,
Thanks for-
Chance. That was great. Oh man.
A great little cameo there from Chance.
He was
Craig,
lit.
Craig, you were saying something about. Well, go ahead and say what you're going to say first.
Oh no, I was just saying that right there. Look, no, he was upset. Clearly, it was a sore subject. He probably hasn't gained any love for Ninja Turtles, but maybe if he'd, I definitely know what to put on the wheel slice when I face him for our rematch now. So
All turtle wheel. It's gonna happen.
yeah.
With Craig's speech on
gotta
it.
get PJ watching this show now.
I'm not gonna say anything that hasn't been publicly made. That's all I'll say. But I've got to that's all I'll say. I know there's some changes that have happened, and I know some wheel slices that Chance will be very, very vulnerable to now. So we'll see.
Hey, now this is the type of content that you guys tune in for. So, Craig, we were talking about the night before. You were saying something before Chance hopped on. What do you think about this film?
Oh, this film is great because to me, it's this might sound like a controversial take, but in my mind, Christmas is more of a American cultural holiday these days, or not even just American culture. It's just like a world cultural holiday as opposed to being a religious holiday. To me, it's a secular holiday, and I think this film more than most really embraces that notion. You've got Seth Rogen, who's play a Jewish man in the film, and then the film isn't about the religious aspects of Christmas. It's about the community aspects and the celebratory aspects of the holiday. That is really what it's the underlying feeling of what most Christmas movies are about, and it's really just more outwardly explores that. It's about family. It's about gathering and appreciating your family, and it's about it's about so many things, and it's also hilarious. And damn if Michael Shannon isn't awesome in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and Jader, once we get to the categories, I'm sure his name's going to pop up at some point.
Absolutely.
But Craig, Thank you for coming on the show so many times since the show's been started. I think this is third time now on the show.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're one of our favorite guests to have on. So like, I hope you enjoyed coming on the Jader and Kyle show.
Yeah, I think so. Except for when I get people like Chance just jumping on, just yell at me.
Yeah, it's like the
kid.
WWF, man, WWE.
Right?
You know?
No, I always enjoy a chance to talk smack with Chance.
Into the thing with a steel chair right now. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What were you gonna say, Kyle?
No, go ahead.
No, I just I really, really enjoy this film. I really do. And it's I'm gonna start, like I said earlier, putting this more on the rotation of Christmas movies that I watch every year. Which is crazy because I do watch like Christmas movies, but obviously, I throw the diehards in there. This year I saw Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I hadn't seen that in a while. Yeah. I see Batman Returns almost every year as well. National Lampoon's.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My three main Christmas movies that I watch almost every year, but I ended up skipping all three of them this year to instead watch a cadre of holiday films I'd never seen before. But my three main films that I love watching every Christmas are Gremlins, Elf, and Bad Santa. Those are my three Christmas films.
Yeah, I ended up seeing Elf this year. I hadn't. That's another one. That's another one. It had been a while. And
I love Elf. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Directed. It was an early directing. By the way, this was before he'd made a hit film. This was the first hit film of Jon Favreau. This was back when he'd done like Made, and he'd written Swingers, and he directed Made. Was this his second directorial effort? Check. I
believe so. And then, like, what did he do in between this and Iron Man, or was Iron Man?
After this he did
Iron Man. This was 2004 or 3.
No, 2008 with the Elf was 2003. Iron Man was 2008. He did like Zathura, which was supposed to be like a Jumanji sequel, but then it wasn't a sequel. It was a whole thing. But he did that as well. I'm trying to think if there was anything. I think he just went like Made, Elf, Zathura, then Iron Man. Hold on, let me double check now. Make sure I'm not saying anything wrong and embarrassing myself.
Cowboys and Aliens or Iron Man 2? I think they're both.
Cowboys and Aliens. Iron Man 2 was 2010. Cowboys and Aliens was 2011.
Right.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau, who's come all the way to directing The Mandalorian and Lion King, and the guy's just kind of taken over Disney at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know that he took over Disney as much as Disney said, please save us. They like. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to find the correct. So as a director, what do we got here? Just going through his director filmography. First film was Made. Second film was Elf.
Chef, yeah.
And then after Elf, he directed Zathura. And then after Zathura, it was Iron Man, then Iron Man 2, then Cowboys and Aliens. Then after that, we had Chef, and then The Jungle Book, and then The Lion King. So there we go. That is his entire feature filmography for directing.
What an interesting career so far. And
even before that, I have a fun story about Jon Favreau.
Go for it.
When I was in college, Doug Lyman, who had directed Swingers, came and talked to my school, and he told us a great anecdote of Jon Favreau. So apparently, Jon Favreau's big early role was a supporting character in Rudy, right? And around that time, Favreau was a fairly heavy-set guy, right? And as a young, struggling actor, the weight problem, he was basically typecast. And he said, like, every role he'd get auditioned for would either have the word "fat" in the character's name or in the first line of the character description. And so one day he's going in for an audition for a character named Fat Ass, just like fat ass. And he goes into this room that's filled with people. It was a casting call, or not a casting call. It was, like basically everyone in the casting office that was there to read for the role was like, the same type. Just a bunch of fat guys. And he apparently he went up to the he went up to the casting assistant and says, "Yes, I'm here to read for the role of Fatas." It's a fat ass. He's like, oh my God, it's so offensive.
Jesus Christ.
I can see him do it. Oh my God. So guys, we're at the hour mark right now, so I think this is a good time to jump into the categories. Craig, I don't know if we're throwing you on the spot here. You want to, jump in with us and just kind of answer the questions as we go along? You know how the show works.
I can answer a couple of them. I do have my food I got to finish, and then I was in the middle of a couple other things. But
hop in if you want to. You're good.
Whatever you want.
What were the categories you want me to go through again? Sorry, it's been a minute since I.
We always start off with best scene, so best scene is going to be our starting point for the night before.
Best.
So if you want to think about that, Jader, I can throw it to you, man. What was your pick for the night before best scene?
There's a lot of great scenes in this movie, but one that made me laugh out loud today, I don't know, was the Seth Rogen's character tripping in the Midnight Mass.
Yes.
I find that scene absolutely phenomenal.
I think we did that to him.
No, that and him throwing up, and it's just so blasphemous.
Yes.
Watching it from a Catholic man's point of view, you're just like, what the fuck were they thinking when they did this? But I loved every second of it because I found it so funny. But that's the scene that today, as I was watching, because obviously I was watching with the categories in mind, and I'm watching and I'm like, this is it. Because I laughed so hard today watching that scene. So that would be my favorite scene. Him tripping out in the middle of Midnight Mass.
I really like when they first start doing their Christmas traditions and they go into the FAO Schwartz and start playing on a piano, doing the Kanye West song.
Let me tell you, that's what sold me on the trailer originally, because that's the first thing you hear, the ding on the trailer when it played, and that song had been a hit already, and I was like, man, this is going to be awesome, especially seeing Seth Rogen and Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Anthony Mackie on screen doing what they do. But that was the selling point for me. I remember the first time you see that trailer, it's that scene when they're touching the piano on the floor, and I'm like, man, this shit reminds me of Big. This is awesome.
Yeah. So, and then they go to the Chinese restaurant, and then it leads into all their traditions, which is my favorite scene right here is the bar scene where they're doing their karaoke. And it's kind of where it all splits off at that point. They all run into their problems. You see Anthony Mackie hooks up with the girl who steals his weed, and Seth Rogen drips his cocaine blood nose into her Mindy Kaling's drink. And this is where we get to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt meet his ex-girlfriend for the first time. It seems how long? I think her name is Diana in this. Lizzie Kaplan. Getting to see the woman that he's been obsessed with all these years still misses. It kind of sets the tone for the rest of the film at this point, what their struggles are going to be. So that's why I really enjoy when that scene comes up. It's also super funny too. How when they're doing the karaoke and then Seth Rogen just goes, I think the shrooms are kicking in. No one makes any reference.
And he's doing it while he's singing and dancing in the background. He gets to him quickly. It's the funniest thing.
It's so good. And then this is where him and Mindy Kaling end up switching phones, which leads to an even funnier scene later. But Craig, throw it to you.
See, now you're so. Oh, okay. I mean, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, that funnier scene later that you're saying might, now that you said it's making me laugh right now, maybe that's my favorite scene of the movie. I don't know if you want me to avoid saying what that funnier scene was.
No, you can do it. You should pick it which one you want.
I mean, well, no, you know what else? My favorite scene is probably just, I keep thinking of this the probably the first one with Michael Shannon as the drug dealer. I think he was my favorite part of the film. His recurring role throughout the film is just kind of like this, it's like, Michael Shannon, we're used to seeing him as Zod, and we're used to seeing him playing just super scary, serious villain types. And in this, he's like a stoner drug dealer who's actually an angel. And it's just
Who loves the Great Gatsby?
Loves the Great Gatsby. Yeah, there was the Great Gatsby party. He's just, oh my god. He wanted to throw parties like the Great Gatsby where nobody knew who was throwing the party. Yeah, no, exactly. It's and just like the first scene where he's telling them, it's like, I always thought of you guys as like my kids. Like what? It's just like such, again, it's tight for him and such a surprising role, and just like the first time it happens, it was hilarious, and it just kept building each subsequent time throughout the film. But that first time was it for me. All right, actually, I do have to bounce now, though, so I'm glad I was able to get that superlative information from us. Actually, no, wait. What's the second superlative? Let me do the second one first.
It might be a little tough. The next one would be best line. But actually, let's move that one to the Mahershala Ali Award for best sharpshooter, because this is how we can talk about maybe one of your favorite characters. We'll get back to best line. Do you have a character, Craig, who did the most in the least amount of time? Like, who's your favorite?
I mean, most with least amount of time is probably, I'll just say, James Franco. I almost named the James Franco scene as the best scene, and James Franco just has that one cameo and is just fantastic in it. And it's
oh, you saw my dick. Oh, that was
maybe I heard, but I forgot this line where it goes, where she's like, they're dancing and they're kind of doing like the Eiffel Tower of Mindy Kaling, and she goes, Isaac, you gotta go. She goes, you gotta go. You're cock blocking me. He goes, oh, I can't cock block this guy. It'll take like 10 guys to cock block this guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I lost my shit, man. Fuck yeah.
But Craig, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. We love having you. We will see you later this year.
We'll see you soon, man.
See you guys. Thanks.
Later, brother. But yeah, dude. Yeah,
that
man. We're gonna do always a treat to have him on, man. And are we gonna go in order? You want to go back?
Yeah. Well, let's go to best line. Then we'll get back to sharpshooter. So, best line. I don't think there's like a very profound line to me. But
there isn't for me. It's funny because I wrote the same thing. I actually have written down the Franco and Seth Rogen text exchange. That the message pop-ups and all that, that for me is it. I don't want to even call it, just that little exchange, that minute that we get, or a minute and a half that we get of that is gold. So I wrote down that text message has changed because I loved how confused he was knowing that he wasn't gay, but he's like, you know what? I might consider sucking a dick today. Franco was just so like affirmative with it, like laying down the law, and he goes, I guess I'm gonna do it, man. Whatever, dude. That killed me too, man. That killed me too. So that's probably my favorite exchange in the film. I thought it was so freaking funny.
I got two. One is I love every time when Anthony Mackie's using his camera and they're like, his social media game is on point.
Yeah.
I love Seth Rogen just has to throw that in there every single time. And then and it's in the church scene and that you love. That's your favorite scene. And when they're running out, he's like, we didn't kill Jesus.
Oh, man. And the scene that killed me, because that one I completely forgot, was when he's at the end where they're at the party and he bumps into the Messiah and his hand goes, bro, I lost my shit, man.
And they're like, hey, the Jewish man just crucified the Messiah.
It's so funny, man. So, but yeah, that for me is going to be the best line exchange. Where are we going next?
Let's go back to Mahershala Ali. So he mentioned James Franco.
Wrong category.
Yeah, to me, it's Michael Shannon, and that's
Michael Shannon. Yeah, I knew this was going to be unanimous as I was writing this. I was like, "There's no way that this isn't unanimous." But best sharpshooter was hands down Michael Shannon, man. In, out, did what he got to do. Let me tell you, honorable mention was what's her face? The Rebecca Grinch.
Oh, not Liza. What's her name? Lana Glazer.
Lana Glazer, yeah, bro. She kills it in this film, man. She is so funny in this. and she's this random character. So I was between them two, but obviously Mr. Green takes the cake, man.
He's to me he's might be the best part of the movie, if not for that friendship. But him saying, "I like put your tiny little hands in mine," just as he out. Or when he's
and it's what kind of piggybacking up what Craig was saying, man, was where his range is so great, but he usually gets very menacing villainous characters. That's usually what he does. And seeing him do this, like, stoner, flick comedy, and he's an angel in this, actually, like that for me was just great to see. I thought he was going to play a villain the first time I saw this. I was just like, oh man, he's going to be the drug dealer, and somehow this is going to turn into like one of those "you give me my money" movie type shit. He was going to go after them, but seeing that it didn't go that route, I really appreciate it. You know,
he's like the fact that he's an angel at the end of it. Like, one of the lines is when Anthony Mackie's talking to him and he goes, Tommy, whatever his name is, he's the Messiah, and Michael Shannon goes, well, as far as I'm concerned, Jesus Christ is the Messiah. That he was a little ridiculous.
yeah. That's the first exchange. It's so great.
It's so funny. So I think he was easily going to be the pick for all of us. Let's move on to the Bill Murray Award for Best Cameo.
This is going to be unanimous as well. James Franco.
No, it's not going to be unanimous. No, I think there's a lot of great cameos in this. Another honorable mention I throw in there was probably Tracy Morgan as Santa Claus at the end. We have a black Santa at the end, and he starts off narrating the story. I think he's great. But I really like Jason Mantzoukas in this film, and he's one of the drunk Santas that's pissing on his side. I love whenever he talks because he's like,
that's one of my favorite lines, man. He goes, "I teach the youth.
I
teach the youth." Absolutely right, man.
Yeah,
man. Look at that. Look at that. No. I honestly thought it was going to be unanimous. I thought there was no way that you weren't going to give that award.
Franco's a great pick, but Mantzoukas is him talking like drunk is so funny to me. Like, you just walk on the streets like a freaking dum-dum. Where's your friend, huh? Little elf don't have any friends?
It's so funny, man. No, and he gets knocked the fuck out too. But I love him in almost. You've seen The League, right?
I haven't seen The League, but Parks and Rec he shows up in. He's super funny. Yeah,
he's one of the exact role that you see him in this. He's in The League, just more like he's just a cameo character that just comes out in certain episodes. But his character in The League is so bizarre. It's so bizarre that you're like, what is this guy gonna get them into? And it's only like an episode thing, and then he'll like disappear, and then like you forget about him, and like 8 episodes later he'll come out again. He's so freaking funny in The League, man. So watch it because you'll like The League a lot. It's actually really funny.
I've been told that by so many people to start watching that show, and I just haven't gotten around to it. I feel like I'm kind of worried because I'm sure it's all old football players at this point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a while. But again, you've known football for a while too, so there's a lot. It's funny. Even the first episode, how they do the draft pick order was hilarious. Like how they do it's just really, really funny. You'll like the show. But he's in it. He's a reoccurring character. He's just more cameo character. Mm-hmm. He's related to one of the main characters.
Okay.
So, but check him out. He's awesome in this. He was awesome in this. He's awesome in that. He was awesome in this.
I want to give shout outs to other characters, and Miley Cyrus is obviously one of the biggest cameos that you can possibly get in any movie. Her coming in this film was a massive surprise. I did not see that coming. That they're just gonna.
They had like quickly like mentioned that she karaoke the song and all that. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that shit coming either.
No, and it leads to the biggest moment of the film, which is him proposing on the stage. Like, as soon as you hear that, you're like, this isn't gonna go.
That's a bad idea. Yeah,
awful.
Like even now, I forget that she says no, but I was like, she has to say no. Why? I'm like, they're not dating.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? So I completely forgot that. I knew they end up together, but I'm like, did she say? And then she said yeah, and I'm like, she says yes. I'm like, I don't remember this shit, you know.
But yeah, you feel that heartbreak for him afterwards, even though you know he made a stupid decision. All right, let's move on to the. So I skipped casting what ifs. There was no casting what ifs. These guys just kind of got together and said we're gonna make a movie together. So there's no need for that. The Gary Oldman Everyone Award for Best Overacting. I think this goes to James Franco for me because he's.
You know who I gave it to? Okay, well, go ahead.
Well, I think James Franco just, completely flaunting his dick around for everyone to see. And then how into it he is with Seth Rogen. He's turning it up, and it's great. It's so funny. He's, oh, you saw my dick? That was you, bro? He's like, yeah, man, dope dick.
For me, I actually gave it to Seth Rogen. And again, it's more compliment than it is what's the word I'm looking for?
Insult.
Yeah. I gave it to Seth Rogen. I think he kills it as the character. He's doing it right, but he's definitely freaking overdoing it. The sweating and all that shit, and like everything. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I was actually gonna mention that scene for overacting. I'm like, them when they meet for the first time, how that whole instant bromance, whatever gay schling that they had going on or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to mention on the overacting, because you're absolutely right. So it's funny that you mentioned James Franco.
I think one of my favorite parts of this film too, when you bring up Seth Rogen overacting, is when he's on drugs in the back of the limo. He's like, do I look normal now, don't I? He's like, no, you look crazy. And he like takes his glasses off and puts them in his mouth. He's still weird. Rogan's great on drugs. Like just throw.
And he does it so like that panicky Rogan, like what we saw in Pineapple Express. He's just so good at doing that.
It's so natural for him at this point.
Yeah, but Steph was the one that we were again watching the movie, and she's like, he's so good at like very panicky. For someone that does drugs, he does panic drug mode very well. And I'm like, yeah.
Someone else I want to shout out too is because I don't think we're going to talk about her at all, is Jillian Bell, who plays Seth Rogen's wife in this film. She's funny in this too. Let
me tell you, she's more hit than miss with me, but she's very hit or miss. Yeah. I like it's fucked up to say, but not that I confuse them, but I kind of like because I'm not crazy about Rebel Wilson, right? I liked her in Pitch Perfect. That's probably the only role that I can tell you that I'm like, I really liked her in Pitch Perfect.
You didn't like her in Cats?
Huh?
You didn't like her in Cats?
I didn't see that movie, dude. But Jillian Bell and it sucks, but I kind of like put them together. Yeah, I know I can differentiate who's who. But I just automatically like think of Rebel Wilson. So there's a lot of there's some roles with Jillian Bell that just don't work for me. I did like her in 22 Jump Street. I think that's the first time that I actually remember her, where she was a standout in that film. But other than that, like it wasn't too many other roles of hers that I'm like, oh yeah, she was great. In this, I loved how understanding she was.
Yeah, she's a great wife. And then one of the funny lines is the when they're sitting in church and Seth Rogen's about to puke, she's like, no, swallow like a woman would.
Swallow like a woman would. Yeah. That whole thing, that when she goes, open your mouth. He's like, oh my God. Like, I love that scene so much, dude. It's so funny. But even when he shows her like the video of him like, spazzing out about having a kid, and she starts cracking up, and then he goes, cunt. She goes, did you call her daughter cunt? And then he's still like, she's like, oh no, it's like, like you weren't nervous, and I felt like I was the only one that was nervous, and this and that and that. And then they're having like this heart to heart, and you still see like the video is still on, so you still hear it. She goes, okay, this is enough. Like takes over. I thought that was a little great touch in that scene there.
Mm-hmm.
She was awesome in this. I absolutely loved her. I loved how she was like, go have fun. Here's, and I love the whole Craigslist exchange where she's like, yeah, I just typed in drugs in New York and, everything popped up. But I love when she sees him in front of the church, and
after he's talking to all the
him to get the hell out, get out. And then he's just like not getting the clue. Love that shit. So yeah, I agree. Good man.
So I don't have anything for what doesn't work. I mean, I think the movie it's just a fun Christmas.
It is what it is. Yeah, exactly. I agree.
I think everything kind of makes sense for the world that they created. The whole their friendship, everything about it is so pure. So to me, there's nothing really that doesn't work. Interesting details. I didn't find really anything details on this film. It's still so new. Whenever you get these newer films, it's hard to find really interesting stuff about it. So I couldn't find anything on that. So that brings us to Apex Mountain, and it's tough because as much as I love this movie, I don't know who would qualify for this.
I have it blank. There's two things that I have blank, and it's the last two categories because
still thinking about it.
More the who won the movie. I can try to figure that out, to be completely honest with you. But I even went with for Apex. I was looking at IMDb, and I really can't find anyone really that this is their best film, their best role.
Well, if you start with the three main people, you got Seth Rogen, which Knocked Up might be his apex, but like I feel like he still has something even more coming at this point in his career. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is just waiting for his big role, even though he's had so many great things already. He's just waiting for that big Oscar role. Anthony Mackie's the Falcon. Like he's got his own TV show coming out now where he's a superhero. He's gonna be Captain America at this point. That's not his apex. I tend to think of Jonathan Levine, the director. I
thought about it, to be completely honest with you. One film beats it for me.
50-50?
No, I love 50-50, and it's actually The Whackness. I feel like that movie is so underrated, dude.
You think it's better than this film?
Yeah, I actually do think it's better than this film. That was when I was looking at his, because Warm Bodies, I'm not a fan of that movie. I thought that movie was bad. I thought Warm Bodies was so overhyped because it has so much love, and everyone told me how awesome it was. And when I saw it, I was like, this movie's not good. And then Snatched is bad, and Long Shot finally fucking saw it. It's great. So for me, it was between 50-50, but then when I went down, I saw Whackness. I was like, oh my God. Have you seen The Whackness?
I haven't seen it.
It's very underrated, man. It is a dope movie. I saw that when I was working at Ale House. I was bartending. One of my boys was like, you're a big movie guy, right? And then I'm like, yeah. And he goes, do you know who Jonathan Levine is? I was like, no. Who is that? And he goes, man, he's done one other movie. And he goes, but this is a cool, it's kind of like mid-90s. Okay. All right? So that's kind of how it is. It's kind of like mid-90s. So get that. It's like during 94, it's a hip-hop movie. Josh Peck from Drake and Josh. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
It's Josh Peck selling drugs and falling in love. It's a good, like, coming-of-age drug movie. So if anyone is still watching this and they have not seen The Whackness, watch it. It is worth the watch. And you've seen 50-50 also, because 50-50 is phenomenal. So I can't give him that award. I thought it was going to be Jonathan Levine as well, but it's not. I completely even forgot that he had directed The Whackness.
I love Jonathan. Like, some of his movies in here are some of my favorite ones to revisit. Long Shot, I think, is going to become one of these comedy films that everyone's like, why didn't I see this when it was out? It's so good. Like, Seth Rogen and Jonathan Levine in this, they work really well with each other, because you have The Night Before also, which we're talking about, and you brought up 50-50 also. 50-50 is a very serious movie. And then
50-50 is a hard watch for me. I saw that movie it came out right before my best friend passed away from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw it after he passed. I didn't see it right away because I'm like, I can't see this movie right now. Crazy shit is it's not the same cancer that Joseph Gordon-Levitt has in the film, but in the movie, it starts with lower back pain, and that's exactly what happened with my boy. My boy, they told him that he had a herniated disc, so it's a whole big thing. But that it was kind of like a misdiagnosis, where they're like, no, it's just a herniated disc. Don't worry about it. It's nothing serious, and it was cancer the whole time. So I've only seen 50-50 twice. It's a hard watch for me. It's a great movie, but it is a hard watch. It's one of the few movies that have legitimately made me cry. You know, but as serious as that movie is, I have laughed out loud watching it. Like it has very funny parts in it. You know.
Yes.
And I've never hated a character as much as I hated Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
Oh my God, she's so bad.
Just the worst kind of human being. I couldn't stand her for a long time. I remember when she got casted in Jurassic Park, I was like, in Jurassic World, I was like, ugh. I had so much hate for her. Anyways, but we're rambling on about another movie. But so yeah, he has so many great films. I don't think this is his apex. You know?
No, so I don't know what his is at this point, and his is probably coming at some point. But right now, I don't think this movie has anyone's apex, and that might be a good thing. But that brings us to our last category, which is who won the movie. I know you said you left yours blank. It's hard not to go with one of the three main guys.
Yeah.
I went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's someone we haven't really talked about
agree with that.
throughout this entire episode. We haven't really talked about him much, and I think he's the best actor out of the three, and I don't think people really appreciate just how great of a actor he is. There's something relatable about him.
Well, I need more Joseph Gordon-Levitt, honestly. And it's crazy that I'm wishing that, and I didn't see Project Power, and I was so happy that he was in it.
See, like I liked 7500 that came out this past year, which is another film he did. That's on Amazon right now. Project Power, I did not like at all. That's not him. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's best quality is that he's likable and relatable. And
I'm looking at the IMDb right now. I haven't seen it. The Trial of the Chicago 7. I didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had quite the year. Well,
he disappeared for a while. He had a kid and he stopped acting for like a year or two. So we didn't see him for a bit, and he's making a comeback right now.
Yeah, because the last movie of his that I remember like seeing was Snowden. That's probably the last one that I saw him in.
Wow.
Because after that, all he's doing is voiceovers. He did a voice in Last Jedi. He did a voice in Knives Out. And that's it. Before that, then it was Snowden, The Muppets. It was an episode. He did one episode in 2015. Then it was The Night Before. Then The Walk, Mindy Project, The Interview, Frank Miller, Sin City, Don John, Lincoln, Looper, Premium Rush. So back where he was at, you get me? Yeah. But I remember seeing Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Angels in the Outfield. Man, that was the first movie I saw him in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen it. Old school baseball movie. Yeah. Tony, Christopher Lloyd, Danny Glover in it. I love that movie growing up. It's one of my favorites. It was one of those childhood movies. I love sports movies, so it was always Angels in the Outfield, Rookie of the Year, Sandlot. Like those were always on rotation. And I remember like seeing him in that, and then not seeing him for a while. And I think it wasn't until like maybe Halloween H2O that he had a small role. I'm like, oh man, is that from Angels in the Outfield? And then after that, you start seeing him in 10 Things I Hate About You. You start seeing he was in Third Rock from the Sun. I used to see that show a lot. He voiced Treasure Planet, like little things like that where he started coming up. And then it wasn't until The Lookout. Did you ever see this movie called The Lookout?
Mm-mm.
Awesome movie. Watch that as well. Hesher. He has a lot of like movies that are not relatively like big, but good movies.
Don John, yeah.
Don John had me all the way till the end. I felt like it dragged a little towards the end, but I absolutely love Scarlett Johansson in that and him. And it was his directorial debut, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Right? That was awesome. 500 Days of Summer is another fucking great movie.
I think
we gotta have a Joseph Gordon-Levitt freaking episode, man. Because
we'll get him on the show. I said we'll get him on the show, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's one of my favorite actors, and like I said before, there is that relatable quality to him. I don't know what it is about him, but he seems like someone who could be your best friend.
Yeah.
When he's going through his struggle in this film of losing his parents and losing his friends, I really feel for him, even though it is best for him to realize that actually one of the best lines in this film is when Isaac says to him, I think his name's Ethan. Isaac says to Ethan, he's like, I mean, you just keep making excuses for yourself. You have a pretty good excuse, a legitimate reason, but just kind of ruining your life. And that is one of the best lines in this film because is what's going on. You see people like this all the time who suffer a tragedy and get coddled because, you know, they did go through something tough, but then they never move on and improve themselves after that. They just can't let go of the past, and he's stuck in that. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I feel like with any, if you would have switched the roles, like let's say Anthony Mackie's in that role or say Seth Rogen's in that role, it doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
Because they don't feel like someone that you want to see succeed. It's hard to make. It's harder for them than it is for Levitt.
No, he definitely has the range, man. Like I said, he is hands down the best actor amongst the three. Even in the movie, in the movie, I want to see probably him and Michael Shannon are up there.
They're right there with each other. Yeah.
But I want some more JGL, and the only role that I was like hoping he wouldn't get was just how Nolan ended that trilogy with the whole Robin. I was like, please don't do that, man. But other than that, man, he's just a badass. So I can totally agree with you of him winning the film. We need more of him. I didn't see Project Power because a lot of people told me that it wasn't great. And I'm like, man, I don't want this to be his comeback. I haven't seen 7500, so I'll check that out if you're telling me that it's good. But you got to see Hersher, and you got to see The Lookout. Those are two great films that he did, and no one talks about them. Hersher is it's kind of like a Metallica bassist movie. I don't know if you know the history of that. We'll get off, and I'll talk to you about that. But Lookout is an awesome heist film. And I actually put it on our top 10 heist films. It was one. I remember they did it. Yeah. Like back in the day, I put it in there because I really, really like that movie. And he's the one. He's the reason why I love that movie. But yeah, man, I think that's it, dude.
That's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Year in review is over. The Jader and Kyle Show, episode 33. That's a wrap on us for this episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was a fun episode. Had a lot of great cameos in here. Special thanks to Anthony, Tim, and Miriam for talking about Wonder Woman with us. That was a great little review we had there. We had a cameo by my buddy Matt come on in, get to say hi, meet Jader for the first time. The Barbarian and Chance going back and forth with each other. So thank you to everybody who stopped in to say hi. It was a great episode. I really appreciate you guys all stopping in. And to all the other people who weren't able to make it tonight and who have been on the show, we love you guys so much, and thank you for coming on the shows. We're going to get you back on this year, trust me. And this year we're going to have a lot more new guests, a lot of people who decided to stop in. We've reached out to quite a few people at this point, so get ready. You're going to see some new people, new faces come rolling in here soon.
Oh yeah. Have a great one. Have a good night.
Take care, everyone. See you next week on another episode of the Jader and Kyle Show.